Wow. I think I'm going to write that in as every show, knock over the mic. Lost and turned out. There's a lot of shit I didn't do. Damn. All right. Anoint these motherfuckers. Little dog, ain't it? It's always about the doggies. Lost and turned out. You talking about a motherfucker just woke up. Golly. I fell asleep on Golden State. I think they lost. Pretty sure they lost. All right. Commercial with this CBD lotion. Despite the fact I just woke up, you know what they say. The show must motherfucking go on. So I don't know how long I'm gonna go. Kind of was like one of them drunk sleeps. But here we go. Lost and turned out. Oh yeah, don't need that. Ah. Lost and turned out. Dexterity's not too great tonight. uh, Give you the energy of the blue argonite. All right, it gets heavy on my damn arm. Well, here we go. Here we go. For those of you that have never watched my magnificence before, I am Big Pontiac, also known as Eight Wind, also known as Time Lord, also known as a friend. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins because the ball game is tied into creation. I am also your galactic daddy-o, sitting or welcoming you all to sit on my galactic patio from Minnesota to this universe. Welcome one, welcome all. I am your super funky hero. So I fell asleep pretty much drinking pretty strong beer. So I am just drinking water right now. I drink about 4 beers, and that's probably enough. Very strong, good beer. So pop them if you got them. Definitely smoke them if you want them. And I am smoking on the Evolve XL Yukon Wolf. There we go. All right, who's partying with the super funky hero? Key, welcome, welcome. Just Jody, welcome. Stacy Ray, welcome. And my main man from Japan, PJ Allen, welcome. Adam, what's happening? Oh, okay. Welcome. And from my man from down over, Sean, what's happening? Welcome. You had to get that bag wearing those pants in after chatting when I would do some keep fooling. I have the pants of shame on right now. I definitely do. Hey, Gaby, what's up? I definitely have the pants of shame on. These pants are like $4 from Macy's. I get almost all my clothes from Macy's, and yeah, I have them on. They're like the ultimate. You can wear them out. I mean, they're thick and they're like almost the ultimate casual lounge pants. Not quite pajamas. I sleep in some other pajamas because it's still damn cold up here. It is cold. I just had to turn the heat off. I just had to turn my heat up, and it is freaking cold up here. It's supposed to get down to 1 or 2. 7, yeah. So it is cold. And as I said, I was watching the game, and this strong beer got the best of me. Next thing I know, I was sleeping, and I looked, it was 5 till. I was like, oh shit, I got to get this shit together. You see, I'm still trying to get it together. So I don't know how long I'm gonna go because I am a little tired. I thought I had some business to do today, but motherfuckers be bullshitting. Because you know, when you're spending money, sometimes motherfuckers think that you just gotta take what they present. And when you spending your money, you ain't gotta take what they present. You be like, no, motherfucker, it's this. So I can sit back and just dig. Don't have to spend no money. So I got up this morning early for nothing. I was just so proud of myself because I really stopped kind of taking naps. I mean, nothing wrong with naps, but lately I just don't really have the need for it. But today I did pass out a couple times. uh, it definitely all is good. I'm smooth. I'm definitely smooth. But I really don't have a lot of topics tonight. So I said I just woke up. But I guess the topic of something Jody said on her show is give it freely. You know, that's I've said that many times. Even my brother has echoed that. And uh, Jody mentioned it, and it's like there's nothing wrong with people who want to donate to your cause, but when your cause becomes a commercial, that seems a little much sometimes, and it bothers people. It really does, because like to copy what Jody said, information is free. Now, just because I possess some information and can show people how they can apply this information does not mean I have the right to charge. Now, if people like to donate to the cause, that's always great. That's always helpful. That helps upgrades in so many ways. But that is not my aim. That is not my aim. My aim is not to come on here and be a commercial. My aim is to pass the information that some people don't understand. Now, someone asked me earlier on the Responsible Daddy Hour. Let me see. Should be right in here. Some names, the names of the Hero Twins. And the Hero Twins' father's name is Hanapo. Okay. But the Hero Twins, their names, which I don't have memorized, but it's called. Now, the Papal was copied by a Spanish bishop. They burnt. See, this is the thing that what the Spanish did, and what under Inquisition, what they did. Under Inquisition, they destroyed. That's why some people say that Fahrenheit 451 is about the destroying of the Mayan civilization, the destroying of not the Mayan, but well, yeah, the Mayan in a lot of cases, because in a lot of cases they discovered Mayan works and they burned the works. And for a long time, you heard now. I know this is part of what my generation heard. For a long time, they tried to tell you that the Aztecs, the Mayan, the Omen, that there was no works. That the only ancient works they found was pretty much over in Egypt. And we know that's a lie. But under Inquisition, one Spanish bishop or priest took it upon himself and destroyed 98% of the written works of the early Americans. Because again, under Inquisition, but again, it told of outside of creation stories that could be practiced that was not under the Jesus stuff. It says their mother was named Zikapki, a young Zabala goddess, learned of a strange fruit of this tree. She visited, and Hanunapu's head spat into her hand, impregnating her what would be Hanuapu and Zablanka. Those are the names of the Hero Twins. Seems like and there's pictures all through here. I don't know where one is just offhand, but And I've showed their father's head before. And the young goddess, she got too close and he skeeted on her. And the hero twins were born. But that is their names. So someone had asked. So as I said before, you look at the ancient writings and they talk about the hero twins being part of the beginning. Do you think that Russell Wilson was a good move for the Broncos? What's happening, Ricky Smith? Smooth. Homie. I would say offensive wise, it's a good move. They've still got a decent defense. They've got a decent offensive line. So for Russell Wilson, it's an upgrade. He should be a little more protected than what he was. They didn't really put a lot of money into the line up in, and then injuries, but up in Seattle. So yeah, it's an upgrade for him. I'm surprised that Rodgers didn't go to Buffalo because that's the coordinator he's going to have. Now, I like just like Rodgers, I don't see what Rodgers took all the bag and it's who's around him. They still only got Adams. So the team has not improved at all. So I'm surprised he didn't take the way of Brett Favre. Again, he'll never pass. Rodgers will never pass Bart Starr in Super Bowls. He's tied with Brett Favre in Super Bowl wins. Now, is it an upgrade for Russell Wilson? Absolutely. Better offensive line. Better receivers. Well, not necessarily better receivers, but I would say a better core of receivers. So for him, yes. For Seattle, who are they going to put back there that because they did not upgrade the offensive line at all? So who are they going to put back there? That's going to be interesting. So I'll say, yeah, for them, it's good. It's a good deal. B. Brown, what's happening? So yeah, for personally for him now I don't know how much Sierra's gonna like living in Denver. I mean, Denver's a big city, but still it's Denver, and so I don't know how much she's going to like living there. I mean, I imagine they're there now, picking out a place for them and the family to live, because again, during seasons during school. There's no way to get around that. If your family lives where you're at, football is during school. So that's the interesting thing of people that have had to live that life. So they've got to put their children into the Denver school system if their children are old enough. I'm not sure. I don't follow them enough. I mean, Russell Wilson is going to end up being the commissioner. You already see the grooming. There's no mistake of pictures of him and Roger Goodell at several events. That is the grooming. I mean, Sierra is his handler, but I do see a grooming involved, or even a handling, or even Sierra hands him off to the commissioner. So they're setting him up for something like that. We already see it, but he's the definitely, you can just see he's handled. What's happening, Mr. Lamborghini Leglock? Well, thank you for coming to the Galactic Patio. Right on, right on, right on, right on, right on. So yeah, I see he is under the evil pattern. I guess that's the way we could say he's taking the negative path, and that's what mostly we see with these entertainers. They take the negative path, and that's seems to be okay with them. That seems to be just something that they get theirs now. That's what they want. They want it now. Oh, Marcus the Great, what's happening? Thank you for such kind words. Thank you. So you see, as you see in Russell Wilson, you see him. Oh, here we go. we see from A to B, what a handler is. And as I said, anybody watch that show with Magic Johnson, you see how. See, that's the thing that they missed by not showing his relationship with Dr. Tucker. Because really the first time I met Magic was I was getting a suit, and Magic was in there getting a suit too with Dr. Tucker. I was probably 7th grade, so he was probably going into 9th. But we was both getting suits made in Kalamazoo. And that's how I first met him. And shit, he was 6'7", 6'6" then. Do you think Mahomes will still own the AFC West? He's going to be in play. And I'm going to tell you why. Candy went all up in my face. He's going to be in play because, again, you have original AFL team, the Chiefs, and he has a lot of talent around him. Look how they don't give Bellamy any of the coaching jobs. Here he has one of the best offensive minds in football, but he can't get a head coaching job. Hey, Jay. Thank you for joining. 2 years in a row, they've showed him sitting next to the commissioner in the Super Bowl. I was wondering what was going on. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the very kind words. Yeah, that's grooming. That's how you groom a person. They want him to be seen. Oh my gosh. Looks like my system might die. I guess I should have plugged it in. That's all right. We'll make it. I'm not gonna go too terribly long. That I am sleepy as hell. but you see the grooming, the handling going on right in front of your very eyes if you pay attention. That's why he's been next to him on camera. As I said, I would not be surprised if he's the next commissioner. And the other two, let me see, was Bell. Now I don't think the first commissioner was a lawyer, but last two commissioners have been lawyers. I'll be in and I just got off early. Good for you. What's happening, PJ? Good for you. Getting off early. Go home. Take off your uniform. Go see your wife and children. Smoke some good shit. They messed some blacks up. Let me see. Yeah, they messed some blacks up too. Blacks up too. Okay. Just having fun. As I said, I'm not gonna go too terribly long. I literally just woke up. I fell asleep watching the game. I was watching. Golden State was losing to Denver. Denver did not look that impressive for Golden State, but you can see when they don't want Golden State to win. You can see the way they set the plays up. She works with me, and that's smoke weights. Okay, that is smooth. Ricky Smooth, the Lakers are very disappointing this season. It seems like they're losing on purpose. Definitely. Well, of course. I mean, that's the script this year. And when I look at it, when LeBron and them don't make the playoffs or don't go very deep, it's a rush year. For LeBron, it's a rush year. He resting. That's you can't look at it any other way. When you see the top stars, other than the lovable loser, Chris Paul, but for LeBron, it'd be a rest year. They trying to let LeBron rest so he can play with his son, which is coming, the year after? 2 years. So his son will go and make the Lakers squad. Golden State squad is a problem. I got to give them props. Oh, yeah. A lot of dudes can shoot and score. I mean, Wiggins was Wiggins was a bigger addition than they thought. Russell was just a scorer. I mean, disher. He doesn't necessarily need the ball. His role with the Timberwolves was a little different than was Golden State. But his experience was Golden State taught him to be a catch the ball spot up shooter. His game, far as spot up shooting, is 100% better, and that is from him playing with Golden State. Because even in the Timberwolves, Edwards gets the ball most of the time. They run the offense not through Towns. They run the offense through Edwards, and Russell has really stepped nice into that role of catch and shoot. I mean, he's I think Beasley has the record for the season or the team this year at 8 or 9, but D-Lo, as they call him. And it's funny how the announcers like to say the nicknames to show they're cool. So they call Russell D-Lo. Vanetta, what's happening? Thank you for joining me. Yes, Vanetta, email me. Because I thought I wrote your email down, but shit, I go through the book and I couldn't find it. So send me an email. So yeah. So I fell asleep on the game. I watched the first game too. No hockey tonight. Didn't see any hockey. So Thursday night must not be a good hockey night. And it's funny, like Charles Barkley is the highest paid sports announcer. I don't know if people realize that. He gets more than all Shaq. He gets more than Shaq, Kenny, Ernie. He gets more than anybody else, which you wouldn't think. And it's funny how some dudes are built, and the way they're built, no matter what they wear, it doesn't tailor them well. They don't tailor well. And Barkley is a prime example. I mean, you can tell he's not athletic. Even when he played ball, he was a good basketball player, but he wasn't athletic at all. Which I mean, it's the difference between an athlete and a basketball player. Like Karl Malone was a basketball player. He wasn't a great athlete. And even Michael Jordan in some ways wasn't a great athlete, more of a basketball player. I don't think Jordan ever played football. Put 25 on Golden State plus 200. Put 25 on Golden State at plus 2, then 15 more at 220. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'll send. Oh, here it is. I know she wrote it before. I sat there and wrote it down, and I'd be writing shit down, and I go back and try to find it. Can't find the shit. PJ, don't I have all your phone number somewhere? I thought I did. Oh, my terrible eyes. Okay. Because we've got something. Robert Cray is going to be up in your area. And I want to go to that. Okay. I swear I wrote this before. Should be disappearing on me. My email is eaglesarethe bomb@gmail.com. That's one of them. I thought I had your number though, PJ, but yeah. Okay, I have to hit you up. Charles is overrated. In a lot of ways, he is. I mean, I'll give his props where it belongs. He put the strength back into the game. He, even more than Karl Malone, showed that because he's only 6'4". If you look at where him and Michael Jordan is saying, that shows Michael Jordan ain't 6'6" too. Because Michael Jordan just barely taller than Charles. But Charles only 6'4". Charles is what? Anthony Edwards. And Charles about the same height. Anthony Edwards went about 6'3.5", 6'4". Maybe Edwards might even be taller. He's not that tall. And pretty much had a powered forward game. And as he said, he put the physicalness in. Remember, he could back anybody in with the ball, just turning. And I used to love that. That's what I loved about 3-on-3. 3-on-3 is so much more of just breaking your man down. And I could do anybody like that. I would do the half spins, the fake. Like I would set people up like with a half spin. I was just like, boom, because that was my go-to move was spinning off somebody. As soon as they leaning too much this way, I'm spinning off them. But I would do a half spin, and I would just fake like I was going to spin. And so people wouldn't know because of the fake spins. I do, just always teasing like I'm spinning. And then when I would spin, I'd actually get by people and be too much tough inside, left or right. And that's what Barkley put. Remember, they changed the rules. They changed because Barkley could just back any player down and score over him. He had a little bit of, I always say, Truck Robertson, Adrian Dantley. Barkley was in that vein. Okay, bet. Okay, bet. Yeah, I know I had your stuff. Nico, what's happening? So remember, they changed. They took that rule out. They where you can't just dribble the ball forever. Like Charles would how they got 24 seconds, which is the code, but Charles would dribble for 20 seconds on somebody to get his move off. He would dribble for 24 seconds to get his move off, and so they's like, yeah, that's boring basketball because it is. It's boring seeing somebody just pound, 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 pound back, pound, pound, pound. It's boring basketball. But he couldn't be stopped. Nobody can deny that Charles couldn't be stopped. He would do that and nobody could stop him, but it's boring basketball because it's they always talk about ball dominant. But as I was saying, he's a funny brother that looks funny with clothes. Clothes look funny on him. Like you look at his suits and his suits he's a funny shaped dude. He's really, really funny shaped. And is like you look at everybody else, like Shaq looked nice tonight. Shaq had more of the springtime dress look tonight, but he looked nice. So did Kenny. Kenny wasn't wearing no tie. Ernie is Ernie. But Charles, no matter what he wears, it's not crispy looking. It looks frumpy. You know what frumpy is? Frumpy is just all your clothes look big on you. And that's kind of how the clothes fit him. It's like he has his physique, like he doesn't have the football square shoulders. That's one thing football will give you is like I've noticed, I've gotten older, my shoulders have dropped somewhat, but I still have pretty much basically square shoulders. I'm older now, of course, but my shoulders are, and that's something that never leaves you. If you play football long enough, people could look at you and tell you've played football because shoulder pads will give you a certain definition in your shoulders. Now, of course, I used to be more like that, but clothes have always fit me well. And I used to go to Jewtown in Chicago. I was young when I first started getting tailored clothes. So as I was saying, when I met Magic, we was getting tailored suits. We wasn't, it wasn't no off the rack. We was in Kalamazoo and dudes is, drawing on us making suits. That just used to be how it was. You didn't just go to J.C. Penney's and pick some shit that was already you went somewhere where they made the shit. They tailor made the shit. That used to be the old way of getting suits. Remember, they made fun of it in Harlem Nights. They made fun of the police officers, Rich and all them. They wearing tailor shit, and here's a dude that's got to go buy suits off a rack already made. Because that used to be the society. The society was more about tailored clothes. It really wasn't about having clothes already done. He couldn't back Shaq in. Remember him and Shaq got in a fight. SD, what's happening? Tim Duncan was Duncan was cool. Yeah, Nico, welcome. Charles had super hop strength and motor. Played in the best era of NBA's actually underrated championship. Hey, Most High. I mean, I'll give you all that, but that doesn't make him athletic. I mean, an athlete can play in several sports. This dude could only hoop. He can only hoop. That's why, when he lost a lot of his skill, I mean, when he went to Houston, of course, when he tore his Achilles, he was done. But that's because he wasn't athletic. And yes, he could run up and down the court. But again, you got to, who he guarding? He playing power forward. What power forward is he guarding? And his like when he played and beat David Robertson, when he shot the jumper on him, he shot the mid-range shot, but that was his peak right there. He never went beyond that. And of course, it was always scripted for him to be the lovable loser. I'll catch you in a bit. Okay. I'm gonna be going for a little while. I'll hit an hour. I'll get an hour to then. KJ, Kevin Johnson didn't get the respect he deserved. Um, welcome, Ricky. I mean, they had a good team. As I was saying, Dan Marley played on that team too. Wasn't Danny Ainge still playing? I wouldn't even say Danny Ainge was still playing, but Danny Ainge is only a few years older than me. So, but that was his peak. That year they went to the finals was his peak. And again, he wasn't gonna get past Jordan. They let him make the dream team, which did he deserve it? I think so. But I still say he wasn't a very athletic dude. He was more basketball player. Now, basketball players can do all that run. I mean, for his size. I mean, he was probably close to almost 300 pounds at when he played at Auburn. But they taught him to slim down a little bit. And I think he was chosen too. I bet if we broke down his birth date and all that, I think he was chosen because it was like some people were trying to explain to him. Here's a dude grew up in Alabama. Did he play AAU? I don't know. But the competition couldn't have been that great compared to a dude in Detroit. And the dude in Detroit, growing up the same era as Charles Barkley, he's only about 3 years younger than me. It's different with a person growing up in Detroit. And as I think Jalen Rose was saying, or even Chris Webber, I can't remember, it's like some dudes had the skill to make it. And Charles' argument was no, they weren't supposed to make it. But again, Charles Barkley grew up in Alabama. Do you think he had to face the junkies and shit? No, he didn't. And the hustlers of Detroit, what's the biggest city down there? Birmingham, Montgomery. That ain't the same. Growing up in the 70s wasn't the same in Alabama as it was Detroit. So there were more obstacles for people in Detroit. What's his name? Benji Wilson. Look how they sacrificed Benji Wilson. You think Benji Wilson was just killed, the number one player in the nation, going to Illinois to play with Marbury, or no, to play with Marcus Liberty, Nick Anderson? Matter of fact, Nick Anderson was on his high school team. Do you think him growing up, Benji Wilson growing up in Chicago, was the same as Barkley growing up some small town in Auburn? Wasn't the same. Competition wasn't the same. And Benji Wilson was definitely sacrificed. With his baby mamas, she helped. They saw he was emotional. Benji Wilson would fly off the handle, punched the teacher, got suspended, but didn't get expelled. And got into it with his girl. She got his emotions, took him out of the school. And he just happens to bump into a young boy that shoots and kills him. I think that's by accident. It was all set up to be like that. Charles Barkley talks about Michael Ray Richardson. PJ, Magic said that was his hardest guard, was Michael Ray Richardson. Yeah. And I want to say Michael Ray Richardson had, let me get this right. No, maybe it wasn't him. But yeah. Magic said that was his hardest guard. Dude, he was about 6'6", 6'7", point guard that could push it and put it on him. But as long as he stayed in America, he was on cocaine. Barkley from Leeds, small town. There you go, D. Yeah. So he didn't play in the competition. The neighborhood he grew up in. You know how he grew up in them little small towns, how them little houses is, the temptations and the diversions wasn't there compared to what you would face in Detroit. It just wasn't. Basketball isn't the same game. It's changed. Oh, definitely it's changed. It's definitely a change. So it's hard for this country dude to really understand what a city dude has went through, because there were people chosen and didn't make it. And that's why I just use Benji Wilson as an example. I mean, Len Bias, the way the snowfall just embarrassed him like that. And probably that's close to probably what happened to Len Bias. Len Bias ingested some very strong, I would say probably was slipped to him by Brian Trimble, some very strong pure cocaine. Now, the way the testimony goes, they were doing cocaine all day. So what happened like why would those last hits that he did put him into a seizure? I think he would slip some very strong cocaine. Ricky says Jordan was dunking on everybody. Yeah, he really was. He really was. He barnstormed the league. He really did. The league wasn't ready for him. He barnstormed the league. So I agree. But again, a basketball player. Yeah, he played baseball, but he didn't play football. He didn't run track. I didn't run track either, but I was fast. But I played it all. I played baseball. I played football. I played basketball. I played all of them. If I'd have got glasses, I'd have played high school baseball because I needed glasses and didn't realize it because I couldn't see the ball anymore. But I had broken this finger, and then I still played baseball, hitting like this as a freshman. Couldn't even hold the bat. I could still pitch, couldn't catch anymore, but I could still pitch because I could throw hard. So I stick to it. There's difference between, like George, one of my favorite players, I talked about George McGinnis. Shit, you talking about a dude 6'8", 250, solid. Yeah. But what happens to non-athletes is when the skills erode, see, Adrian Dantley, I mentioned him because when the athleticism leaves, how do you adjust your game? Ray Allen started the league where he's dunking on people, getting by people, dunking on them, but you have to adjust your game. And even Zion is going to get to a point where he's going to have to adjust his game. That's just as you get older, that's what you have to do. You have to adjust your game. But what you see in non-athletes, basketball players, once their basketball abilities erode, there's no athleticism for them to keep going. You see these guys hit the wall pretty quick. I mean, really, shit, Karl Malone probably after 10 years was probably, you saw the best of him. And that's the difference. And we have it's so specialized now. They're just training basketball players and they're not really training athletes anymore. Do you think Jordan shoes had a hand in it? Jordan shoes? I'll say what the shoes did, because I've always been a shoe person, always. If I said I can go back to all the shoes I pretty much wore, from Little Chick shoes to Buster Brown shoes to Red Ball Jets. That might have been my first tennis shoe, was called Red Ball Jets. And then Beta Bullets, they was called Beta shoes. And that's what I'm pretty sure Bill Russell wore. I didn't even I've said before, my stepfather wouldn't buy me a pair of Converse because they cost $12. So he got me the pair of Converse Coaches, were my first shoe. So it was like the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star cost $12, the Converse Coaches cost $5. So my first actual Converse shoe was what was called a Converse Coach. It was the cheaper version of the Chuck Taylor. And the Chuck Taylor was a very cheap shoe, but this was the cheapest version. So yes, the shoes definitely, it made all the shoe companies improve their product. All of them improved their product. Again, as you see the peak of the Jordans, remember Iverson's shoes, the answer was at one point just as popular. Just as popular. The answers were just as popular as Jordans, the Air Jordans. But it made all the shoe companies make better shoes. That's what I think. It made all the shoes. Have you ever had a Harley? Nah, I ain't never rode. I've rode motorcycles, but nah, I never had a Harley. How much Jordans during this time? How much were Jordans during this time? I think like the first ones really weren't that expensive. The Air Force Ones. It wasn't really until you saw the 8 or 9s where they were priced a little more than the other shoes. Like the first expensive shoes, what I call would have been the Dominique Wilkins pumps. And when the Dominique Wilkins pumps came out, those were $200. I had a player on my team that wore a pair. I mean, when I was coaching, one of the children, one of my players had a pair. But those were $200 back in that would have been 88, 89, somewhere in there. Somewhere 88, 89 when you could get, and those were quite a bit more. I think 88, 89, George was still about 110, 120. And I said, I started buying Jordans because again, playing semi-pro basketball, I constantly playing. I had shoes constantly needed good shoes to play in. And at one point, the Jordan 9 through 14s at one point were the better basketball shoes. So, but yeah, so the 9s and 10s was, I think, the first time, trying to just remember, the first time where Jordans cost a little more than all the other ones. The retro Jordans are popular, but they're not the same shoe. Like even if you listen to a dude named Wear Testers, he shows these shoes and they're not the same shoe. They're not the performance shoe that was released in the 90s and the early 2000s. Those are not the shoes that they sell anymore. Did you ever play in a competitive basketball game when a player was wearing running shoes? Yeah, of course. Indoors, yeah. Yes, it's goofy dudes. That's why, when I was saying I played against dudes from DT or DC when I was living at A&T and destroying DC dudes wearing polos hooping. Yeah, it's all kind of goofy dudes that would come on the court and try. Like I remember playing half court, and it'd be like a line of dudes all around the court and going through all of them. I mean, it'd be a line of dudes under the basket, full of dudes on both sides waiting to play full court. And I remember going through all of them, beating all these teams and just standing there waiting for one team after another. And we was only playing like 3-on-3 and just killing all of them. Just killing all of them. Kobe shoes were good as well. I really wasn't wearing Adidas then, so I only wore Kobe Nikes. I really never wore Kobe's Adidas. I would laugh, yeah. Hey, there he is. There, Smooth Mix, light-skinned goodness. I never get your notifications. Yeah, they probably shadow ban me. They probably do. And so, I'll tell you a real. Let me see. What is Kawhi shoes made? Kawhi's the shoe that New Balance. I think in '80. The summer of '85. No, maybe it's the summer of '86. I bought a pair of New Balance back then, and they were really called the Worthy shoes, the shoes James Worthy. And they were one of the top shoes I had ever bought. Hard to find them after that, but in the summer of '86, those shoes were excellent. When I played the semi-pro league outdoors, those shoes, because the insoles really were almost like custom insoles because they molded to your feet. I love those, and those were considered the Charles Barkleys. So, Kobe's Nikes to wear in style, but playing bad for ankles. Yeah, the low cuts though, but they put the Air Zoom in them. I bought a pair of Nikes. Now, what's interesting, if you look at the way Nike did, Nike would always have the signature shoe, and then they would have the cheaper version of the same shoe. So my first shoes of Kobe's were the Nike version and not the Kobe name version. And they were pretty good. I mean, again, it's the ankle. The cup is what holds you. It's not necessarily highs or lows. I like Kyrie's, KD shoes, and Kobe's. Yeah, now I have a pair of Kyrie's, and it's funny. I saw a dude wearing a pair of Kyrie's, but like mine, they put Marduk's eye over the lap, as the rubber part that kind of the Velcros over the shoe. In the newer versions, they're in the heel. But I'm like, look at this. They put that all seeing eye. So you think Kyrie is with us? He is not. You don't put that evil on your shoe and be with it. LeBron shoes are combat big boots. I disagree with you because I do play in the. Trying to think, I've got 2 or 3 pair of LeBrons, and I looked at a pair of Soldiers when I was in a Nike outlet. But yeah, I can't wear high tops. I can't wear high tops to be active. I can wear high tops to walk around in, But to be active and play pickleball, I can't wear them because what happens is the high tops rub on my Achilles scar, and it swells my scar up. So if I'm active wearing them, hard hitting, what's happening? So I tend to wear I can wear the LeBron the lower shoes. Kyrie is definitely a, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Kyrie, I mean, you look at those shoes and everything you need to know about him. His shoes nice though, bronze. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're comfortable. I mean, they're perfect for pickleball. I mean, really, the what I want to say, the undersize of the shoes, the pattern. I mean, it's perfect, and I don't need the insoles. I don't need my, I get like I'm going next week to get my new custom insoles. I'm trying to wonder which shoes to, because the insoles they're still fairly thick, and they raise your foot up in the shoe, and I have to get the lifts in them too. So. Remember the wheelies? Yeah, I think my daughter's old enough. She had a pair of those, the wheelies. Yeah, Nico. LeBron shoes, good to hoop in. And his beat silhouettes was the 8, 9, 10, 11s. Yeah, I got them in the closet. I forget which my favorite pair because I tried to find my favorite pair of LeBrons. I tried to find an old pair to rebuy because, sometimes you can rebuy them. Nico, I think they were called Dada's. Yeah, I got a Dada jacket in the closet. I found it at Macy's. No, I found it at Marshall's. I got a Dada jacket. It was a couple, and it's shit. I paid like $10 for that hoodie. I heard Shaq shoes came from Payless back then. No, he started with Reebok. His Reebok shoes were actually, around the same time as the Answers, and so his shoes were actually quite comfortable. The Shaq Reebok shoes were quite comfortable. Whatever Reebok used back then, that shit was comfortable as hell. The Answers were comfortable. My patent leather blue. I think it was the second Answers. Those shoes were nice. I loved hooping in them. I wear Adidas now, used to only wear Nikes, but only Adidas and business casual shoes. My boots are Adidas. I mean, my boots are Nikes, and of course I've got Tim's, and I've got the leather Uggs. But I mostly now, like I just bought. Now I should have brought them out here. I just bought. I went to the outlet and I wanted to show them. I just bought another pair of Dom threes because it was only $60. The shoes was normally 110, and I got them for $60. So I went and got another pair of Donovan Mitchells. So I had 4 pairs of Donovan Mitchells. I have 2 pairs of twos, and I have 2 pairs of the threes. So I like what Adidas have done. Trae Young shoe, Harding shoe, all great shoes. I like. Well, they're not bounce anymore, but I like that technology. Every time hooping on a slippery floor, I've noticed Kyrie's and Curry's sneakers have the best grip. That's interesting. I didn't like the original shoes that Curry wears. They were very plasticky. Yeah, I had Shaqs. They would light up back in the day in elementary. Oh, okay. Yeah, they did make. He did make a cheaper version, but his first shoes, I think, were. I mean, later Shaq went to Kmart. Kmart, I think, is where he sold his initial shoes. Yep. Chris Webber left Nike and gets Dada. Okay, okay, I see. Yeah. Well, he said the shoes was too expensive. I work for Adidas. Okay, great. Thank you, Greg, for joining. But that's mostly my gear. It's like more. I got more Adidas stuff because everything is Adidas. I got 4 pair of Adidas that I just bought. As I say, and I'm tempted to go get the red pair. I wanted to get the best pair is the color of the box. That's why I want to show it. The inside of the box, they had that one, but they didn't have my size. They sold out of that shit. Um, the Hexalite and the Reeboks made them comfortable. Exactly. I remember that PJ. Yep. They were very comfortable back then. Yeah, Hardens are nice. Curry shoes ugly. Yeah, I really have not tried the Under Armour. I do not have any Under Armour gear. Why do you kill over Jude? Why do guys that now? That's something that I really could never answer. Like, what is it worth a life over some freaking shoes. I don't get that. It's the same as I told the story here about the young man that killed someone over a Hampton University jersey. Now, I didn't know Hampton, University of Hampton, they was in the MEAC. I think they still are. I didn't know that their jerseys was that interesting. But it's that, well, look at the guy who did this a few years ago. Excuse me. The guy killed a 2-year-old because the 2-year-old wrote on his Nikes. Now, looking at the stepfather or the boyfriend or whatever he was, his mentality was those shoes made him who he was. For some people, the only status they can claim is wearing Nikes. There's nothing else good about them unless they're wearing these shoes. These shoes are who they are. These shoes have the illusion of wealth. Sly always talks about the illusion of wealth, and that's what Nikes become to people. It's almost like Nikes are gold, almost hood gold. I guess in some ways you could say, Nikes are hood gold. Now, kind of like I'll say this. I noticed that when I was at the outlet, a brother kind of checked me out because, again, I'd always dress nice. but I would say I saw some young brothers, and one young brother specifically looked like one of my best friends in Michigan. I mean, he was his splitting image. But I noticed he had the, the Malcolm X Nikes. And it was just cool the way, I saw a couple brothers just coordinated, and I like seeing that. But he had the Malcolm X Nikes. And when he turned around, I thought it was my friend. But I was like, wait a minute, he couldn't be this young. But it was like, my friend got to be 64, 65. But he's 6'8". This cat was about 6'8". But it was his version of him when he was in his 20s. Because he turned around, I was like, damn. He looked like my friend Butter when Butter was younger, because I knew Butter when he was younger. Because Butter's only, I think he graduated 75, so he's only 4 or 5 years older than me. So I knew him when he was young. But yeah, it was my friend. Still young. Okay. SD, you're old. Yeah, he's not old. Somebody said Reeboks are in Walmarts now. They could be. I don't know. Yeah, I remember you said 25 in the previous stream. Oh, okay. His dumbass deserves every bit of time he get. All you do is get you some Murphy's oil soap and wipe that shit off, and permanent or not. Yeah. But I mean, that's just how, like I've said before, at 28, start feeling, like I said before, I had whatever the Chris Webber's David Robertson was. And I had just bought them. And matter of fact, they're selling that shit. It felt pretty good. I almost bought a pair the other day. It was about $170. I almost bought them. But I tried them on. I was like, because I'm not crazy about the Max. The Air Max Pocket ain't that comfortable to me. I prefer Air Zoom or whatever the new Air Zoom is. But some Max, just like I couldn't wear track shoes because the track shoes are too narrow. But the Max doesn't give enough, especially before you break them in. It doesn't really give enough. But I had that whatever that David Robinson, Chris Webber shoe was. And again, I can't. I'd have to see the picture to show you. But they're in the stores now, which surprised me. And they're going for about 170. But I had just bought them, and my ex had got mad because I was with my other children's mother or some shit. That shit. She's mad I ain't come home or some shit. And she took my brand new shoes and she wrote permanent marker on them. Well, I didn't really care. Because again, I'm playing semi-pro basketball, so the shoes is the hoop head. I remember one dude was like, damn, what happened to your shoes? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, your girl got mad at you. Yes, that's what happened. She got mad at me. Do Adidas run big? Nikes tend to run small. What was funny, I was at the outlet, and outlet sell 13 and a half. Those usually, you don't see 13 and a half. That tends to be a league shoe. The first time I got a 13 and a half, we had went in the locker room after a Timberwolves game, and everybody had gave away the socks. Back then they didn't sell the NBA socks, so everybody wanted to get the socks because they just didn't sell them in the stores. and everybody gave their socks away. And Sam was like, shit. Sam Mitchell was like, shit, you want these motherfuckers? And as I said before, I ended up the shoes Sam gave me, because he just had a basically looked like the Rodman, the shoes Rodman, not the side tie Rodman, but the front tie Rodmans. I think it was that version. And those, I cut grass in them shoes for a long time. I love Adidas. They are comfortable. I love Adidas. They are comfy, and the more recent ones look better. Yeah, I love the Donovans, because as I say, I bought my last 4 shoes all been Donovans. Yeah, I wear size 14. Yeah, I can wear 14s too. Technically, I probably wear 13 and a half. And as I said, most of the time you see 13 and a halves, them is usually league shoes. Nike does not really make a lot of 12 and a halves and a lot of 13 and a halves. So I can wear 14s, like especially when I get my insoles, tend to not fit into my 13s. I tend to have to take a 14 in there, because the insoles are beefy, as my son says. Do I got any Dame Lillards? No, I saw a pair though. They had a pair at the out at the outlet of Dame Lillard. So no, I haven't bought those. Like my daughter bought, like she picked out the Candace Parkers, and they have the weird tie in the back. Like even the Donovans tie in the back a little bit, because they're more high top. The Donovans 2 are more high tops, and compared to the Donovan 3s are low cut. But they still have a weird thing where they tie in the back, and for girls' shoes, they're not a great shoe. And I wanted to go buy my daughter a pair, and her mom's like, "Don't buy her a pair. You just got those other pair for her." There, I'm like, "Yeah, she played a season in them. She played about 10, 11 games in them. It's probably time to get a new pair." Plus, my daughter would keep the wet shoes in her bag, and they're kind of funky. She's like, "No, you don't. She doesn't need a pair." And I was gonna buy her a pair anyway. Yeah, you can probably wear 3 different sizes. I can wear 12s and a half and 4. I can't wear small. I cannot wear small. No, I can't wear 12s. 12s kill my feet. Even 13, 12 and a halfs kill my feet too. And I can't go small. I definitely can go bigger, but I can wear 14s. I told the story before. What was it? Maybe the Jordan 12s, 13s. I had a connect that worked in Foot Locker, and so I was working Health Rider. I had a Health Rider store, and or a franchise, whatever you want to call it. Waste of fucking money, but I had a friend that worked at Champs, and so I gave him the money already. And what he did is he gave me 14s. It was the white and blue ones. It was like you had the blue, you know how it was two-tone, and one side would be blue, the other side would be white. Maybe 12s, maybe. Can't remember. I'd have to have a picture of it. And he got me 14s. And, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man," but he had promised the 13s to somebody else, so he got them for it. Because most times the store only got normally 1 or 2 pair of 13s and a couple 14s, a couple 15s. But I can wear 14s too, especially when I put my orthotic in it. Nike's rule. I don't know. I can wear small to big. Yeah, I can't wear small. Small messes me up. Yeah, the 12s. Yeah, the 12s. So he got me the 14s or the 12s. I think I got the black and white pair. Because I had 2 pair of them. I got the black and white pair, and maybe those came out first. I didn't get the Bulls colored one, the red and black ones. I didn't really like them. I was in line to get a pair, and then I was like, had to come back to Minneapolis to do some old shit, playing a tournament or something. And I remember buying. I was in line. I could have got a pair because I was in line close, and I was like, I just didn't feel like it. I turned around, and then I bought the side tie Rodmans. And I was kind of glad I did, because everybody had the Jordans. Nobody had the side tie Rodmans. So I was kind of glad I got them. Yeah, 14s is my real size. You 6'4". Okay, you a little taller than me. Do I wear cowboy boots? One time I did. At one time I did. I haven't recently. But we have a couple places that like at the Mall of America, it's a tack store. Well, but they sell cowboy boots. Cowboy boots are fairly comfortable, I'll say that. When I was in college, again, what was it, 79, 80, we wore all cowboy boots, cowboy outfits. We wore, that summer of my freshman year in high school, nothing but Wrangler shirts, the John Wayne shirts. John Wayne shirts had buttons right here, and it had the flap that went over, and you could leave the flap up over it. It was a John Wayne shirts, but we wore the chaps and everything. You know, we wore all that. So I had several pair of cowboy boots. So when I was at A&T, you know, I'm cowboy down. Wasn't crazy about cowboy hats, but everything else. I always liked the 12-gallon hats. I didn't like the shit kicker looking hats. The black and red 12s are the ones that were worth more. I passed on them too. Yeah, I was in line and I could have got a pair. I was close enough, and I was, you know, I was looking at everybody. Didn't nobody else wear a 13, and I had stood there. So when they opened up, I was like third or fourth. And so, as you know, as they opened up, people try to go, but it was like, yeah, okay, I'm still third or fourth. So I was standing in line, but just something was like, ah, shit. And I was looking at the clock, and I had to leave a certain time to hit the window to come back to Minnesota. So, you know, that's a 10-hour trip. And that was back when you had to drive 55. So I was like, I passed on them. Yeah, I passed on them too. And like I said before, I had a house where I had all the shoes lined up on a shelf. And after I hooped in them, homeless people, crackheads, like my man, I wonder if he's still alive. Like this crackhead dude didn't matter. He's like, man, just bring them clothes over. Because I just bought clothes so much that I always would give clothes away. And so it was one dude was a crackhead. He said, just leave them outside my mama's door. I appreciate it. He said, shoes, anything you give me. And so Curdy, he was the one where we was at a barbecue, and he lit his lighter, and the lighter was a crack light, you know, where the crackheads like the shit to flame high. And he had a girlfriend, cute girl. She didn't get high. She said, why you got your lighter so high? And he just looked at her. He said, when I get my geek on. And me and my boy E just died. She didn't get it. So I don't know how she didn't know he was a fiend, but she should have. But I just never forget Kurt. I mean, in front of everybody, Curdy said, for when I get my geek on. But my man EJ, his dad would always come by and see what I had. The original Jordans with the little hologram in the ankle. I remember I gave those to one of my son's friends. He's like, yeah, he really, you know, needs some clothes. So, you know, that they could come and get. Once I hooped in them, you know, they really, I didn't see that I could keep them and then sell them one day. Once I hooped in them, I went and got a new pair to hoop in because they really, you know, of course, walking around and shit. But as far as hooping, it just wasn't efficient for me. You know, once the life dies out of them. Yeah, I passed on them. I definitely did. I'll go to the Mall of America late this year. It's damn near on amusement park out here. Yeah, it's amusement park. Yeah, I haven't been out there. I almost went out there. As I said, you know, the outlet, what the outlet did kind of dirty. If you coming from the south, where I live south of Minneapolis. You know, I live in one of the South Twin Cities. So on 35, uh, I passed the outlet before, you know, and then I go another 15 minutes. So it takes me about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go to the Mall of America, but I pass the outlet. And a lot of times it's like, shit, here's the outlet. And I'll pull in the outlet. And some of the shit, like the Mall of America, some of the shit, like, I'm trying to think where Polo. So Macy's is the only place that sells Polo. The outlet the outlet has more polo stuff. So if you want polo, it's more stuff at the polo store at the outlet compared to going to Macy's. You know, Macy's is really cut down on the Tommy, and then there's the outlets, you know, the Tommy outlet. But Macy's is cut down on Tommy Polo, but it's like you go to outlet, the polo shit cheaper. But yeah, it's an amusement park. It's cool for children. Like you go after 5 and they close at 9 or 10. You go after 5 for $20. You can get the children a bracelet and they can ride unlimited. I mean that's for the weekends too. But normally after 5, children it's cheaper to go after 5 on a weekday, and you just get them the bracelet, and from 5 until they close, they can ride their asses off. You know, and they get a certain point where they old enough and got phones. You can just I would let them go and I go shop and shit, you know, and then we'd all meet at a certain spot. There's restaurants. You know, as I said before, the clubs used to be on the 4th floor. Now it's the Wings place, Hooters is up there, and then it's the comedy club is up there. The comedy club is up on the 4th floor where it used to be nothing but clubs. So the 4th floor is not used like it was, but it's still shit. Bunch of damn stores. It take you, you know, you ain't gonna see it all in a day. If you came, it would take you a couple of days to see it all, just because you don't like people don't really learn it. I mean, I go out there and I get like 4 or 5 miles. Like if I walk every level a couple of times, I get 4 or 5 miles just walking. So I need to go out there. They are functional crackheads. A lot of people, yeah. Well, Curdy didn't work. He didn't work, but he was functional. Curdy was our guy. He was my man. They sentenced that Jesse Smollett to 180 days. Yeah, wipe all the time. Okay. Thanks for joining. Yeah, he got 180 days. It was all theater. It was all theater. That's all. Like the thing Sly was showing where the dude couldn't cash his check. That's all theater. That's all theater. That's all Democratic based race based shit. All theater. That's all that was theater. He ain't gonna cash his check. Most people bank at the same place. Now I know if you travel around the country, you might, if you have a headquarters, but most people bank at the same place. It's just a good practice. It's like you got the same doctor, you bank with the same people most of the time. He could have easily made an appointment. He could have easily asked to see the manager. I mean, it's like, it was so many other things that people would normally do when you want to get large amounts of money. Most of the time, to get that much, you got to order it because banks generally don't carry that much money. I owned a company where we had armored cars, and banks generally don't carry much money. There's some banks that we would only take them $30,000 the day before payday. There was other banks that would get $1 million. That's how many people they would see. But it was very few banks that got $1 million consistently. But they would get, they would order the money and then they would get the money. And it was like, I was surprised we never got robbed. We would go, check this shit out. We would go be on the highway. I would have to drive the armored car on the highway, damn near to Detroit. And here we are on the side of the goddamn highway transferring millions of dollars. I never understood that. I was surprised we never got robbed doing that shit. But it was like they didn't want to drive so far to us because we each owned, like I owned my armored car company, even though we were under the same name, it was franchise. So they are functional, yeah, definitely. My thing is, why do they always sell out retro Jordans and you can't buy them with another release? I mean, the scarcity makes them worth more. 180 is 6666. There you go. The first football game I watched, 04 Super Bowl, Eagles versus Pats. Oh, okay. Eagles versus Pats in 04? 04? Remember the Eagles make it? Oh, okay, yeah. When they beat okay. Greetings, Lorenzo. What's happening? I'm an Eagles fan. Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan too. My pleasure. I was looking for your channel. Okay. Well, thank you for bringing it. Smooth Mix Facts. Ricky Smooth. Penny Hardaway has some nice sneakers. I saw a lot of them fail. I saw a lot of them early Hardaways fail. Well, even with the Air Zoom, I saw them shoes bust on people. I would say them early Hardaways, yeah, them shoes was busting on people a lot. I just didn't, they weren't very durable. I knew several people we playing and them shoes failed on them. So I stayed away from them. So, I just never thought those was good hoopy shoes. Foams did change the game. So yeah, the Hardaways, little leery of them. I saw especially that original pair that had the screw on the side. Saw a lot of them shoes fail when we was playing. I've seen Max. Max. I've had a pair of Max that failed. Didn't know it failed till after I got done. But after I got done, I looked at the shoe and then, and you just send it back to Nike, and Nike sends you another pair. So, but I had some Max that failed. But them pennies, I stayed away from them. Now the foam posits, I only had the winter boots of the foam posits. I played high school ball with the Penny Flight ones. It was one of the lightest sneakers at the time. No air bubble. Okay, okay, I get you. I picked the Barclays over the Pennies. Yeah, the Barclays had the Max, and I had several pair of the Barclays. Yeah, I would buy the Max. I like the Air Zoom better, but I just was a basketball buying the shoes, and so I just tried different shoes. I picked the Barclays. Yeah, so I played. Well, the Max was um, like the Chris Webber, the David Robertson. Them was the type of Max as well. And as I said, they just released that whatever that shoe, Weber, the one my ex drew on. Those are re-released. But it's just like to pay 170 to just walk around shoes, which I could do, but then to go to the outlet and get the Donovans for 60, just made more sense. The Barclays were dope, but heavy, definitely. Definitely. That's why they went away from their all leather shoes. They were heavier shoes. No doubt about that. Even like the Air Force, the original Air Force Ones was pretty heavy shoes. With nothing there. Until they invented the Nike Zoom, that's why those first couple pair of the first pair were trash because there was nothing new far as sponge in the shoe. It wasn't until about the fours when they started putting a little more in the shoe. Like, I don't know how dudes played their whole careers, in freaking Chuck Taylors. As much as I love Air Max, they are fail on me too. I had the cell. I had the cell rip apart. Yeah. I saw that too. I saw, as I said, I had a pair, and after the game, when I took them off, I didn't realize that they had the air pocket because I didn't really feel it, but the air pocket had failed. And I've seen guys play where they had to stop playing because the air pockets failed. Just tell them, send them back. They fail like that when you play them, send them back. And Nike will send you a new pair. Yeah, I think it's the Nike 15s. I sent the 14s in, and they sent me those ugly 15s before they released. So, before they're released, they send them to me, and you couldn't play in them. The grip was one of the worst grips of any shoe I ever had. I remember I tried to play in those 15s, I think because they had the ones that had the, they call them, what do they call that shit? The, what do you put because there was a thing you put over them. Like when you walked around, you put the what is it called? What are those kind of 20 shoes called? Oh, it's a name for it. But you put the thing over the shoe to walk around in them. That it had a magnet thing, but you didn't hoop with that part on it. But the shoe looked like little, I don't know, little ships. They was some ugly ass shoes. And Shaq came out with the Zebra Twilight. Those were good shoes and comfortable. Those were good shoes and comfortable. I don't think they were as comfortable as the previous one he had. When he came out with them, I think the previous ones were a little more comfortable. I used to bust the air bubbles on the Air Max and send them to Nike and get a new pair. Yeah, absolutely. They still do that. If it's a manufacturer fail, they'll still send you a new pair of shoes. Wear Testers told me that because I was like, yeah, I remember I had to send some shoes back. He's like, they still do that. So heads up. If your children's shoes or your shoes fail and it's a manufacturing thing, Nike will send them back to you. Sure to play in Air Force Ones, the high top ones. The best shoes I played in was the Air Force Ones. Okay. Shaqnosis. Shaqnosis. The previous are the Shaq's pumps. The Shaq pumps. No, the first ones didn't want pumps. The first ones wasn't pumps. Or maybe they was, but I know the first ones I had wasn't pumps. They was just regular Shaqs with the Hexalite, like he said. Those were comfortable. I mean, at the time they came out with that Hexalite stuff, they were way more comfortable than anything Michael Jordan came out with. Any of the Air Force or the Airs, they were more comfortable, and that's why a lot of people switched to wearing Iversons or Shaqs because they were that Hexalite shit was. There was nothing compared to me. The Air Zoom, I don't think it was as in the shoes it had. It didn't compare. The Hexalite protected your feet way more. Way more. Oh, okay. He said they got slick, so you have a year or so to return to honor the returns. Okay, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember the period. Yep, I couldn't remember how long, but yeah. Um, the Scottie Pippins was tight. Yeah, the ones with the air. That was the first time I found a pair of 12 and a halves. Was the one with the Scottie Pippins with the AIR on them. Yeah, those were comfortable, and I think those were more max. The crazy, the crazy BF. The Crazy Eights. Oh, okay, yeah, the Crazy Eights. Yep, yep. On the Reeboks. But yeah, the Scottie Pippins, I wore those too. They had the AI. Matter of fact, my Richie braces, I think I wear with the AIR with the Richie braces. Because I think they're 14s. But yeah, I think I have them in the back of my car. Because when I started playing pickleball to protect my Achilles, I wore Richie braces. I couldn't move side to side very good, but it helped me strengthen my legs. And then once I felt I didn't need them anymore, but they definitely like, and I had to fight the dude to give me these Richie braces. He's got the fucking order, and they're like $1,500 to $1,800 to make the damn thing. My insurance pays for that shit. And he's sitting there arguing with me why I don't need them. And I'm telling him I got another brace that I wear when my Achilles bothers me. Sometimes when I'm just walking, I have a brace that I can wear and it stops the wear and tear on my Achilles. So I knew the Richie braces would work. This fucker argued with me. And then finally the girl's like, look, his insurance will pay for him. So she kind of cussed him out. His secretary kind of cussed him out. And he came in there and like he fought me and I was buzzed like a motherfucker. And I'm listening to this motherfucker and I'm telling him, just make the goddamn thing. Don't worry about it. So he made them and I ripped them up. I mean, they're beat up. I could get another pair, but I don't really need them right now. I don't think. My Achilles is a lot better and I'm still going through therapy and shit. So, but yeah, if your children or you sprain your ankle, Richie braces is a good alternative to have. So, but yeah, I mean, I've went through the gamut of shoes. I watched the All Stars, the what was it, the All American. I wore those in ninth grade, and then to go from wearing those, I wore Pro Kids in seventh grade. I wore Pro Kids, the kind of the suede. They call them nubuck, but it was suede Pro Kids. I wore in seventh and eighth grade. I think I wore the blue pair in seventh grade, the Nate, which we called the Nate Archibalds, because Nate Archibald wore them. And when you got them wet, they would turn your socks blue. And then in eighth grade, I had the red pair. And again, when you got them wet, they would turn your socks red. And then I got the shoe that Kareem made famous, the All American, and as a freshman, because as a freshman I was still in the junior high, but that's what I wore. And then I went from there to wear Chuck Taylors, and Chuck Taylor's 1 year season wearing them damn near destroyed my legs. And then as a junior, I first bought Pro Kids, the leather, super light, and everybody was taking their shoes back. A lot of the dudes took shoes back to get the first Nikes, first, second year Nikes, and I was stupid and I got the Dr. J's, which wasn't this. It was the same sorry shoe, no support at all, same sorry shoe, but just leather and heavier and heavier. But again, it was the thing to take them back. What color is Scottie Pippen's? Mine was black. Yeah, mine was black with the white writing. The original ones I got because I was in North Carolina. My first wife. Um, I married my college sweetheart, and she was from North Carolina. So we went to North Carolina every summer, and I always, had a load of money. Those were my hustling days, and so we'd always go to the mall in Rocky Mount. And in Rocky Mount, it was Champs or Finish Line had them Pippins at 12 and a half. So I was like, oh shit. And so, especially, that was before I could fully wear 13s. And I was in my early 20s. And picked them up in North Carolina. And now the ones I just bought is white. The ones that the braces in is white and something. I've got a ton of shoes between my car, my closet, the fucking shoes in the garage. There's shoes everywhere. So they were my newest pair I bought are white. I have the Olympic up-tempo white and navy blue. Okay. And I just noticed I should have kept shoe boxes. It's easier to push shit up. And I hate when I throw away shoe boxes because I threw away those Donovan one shoe box. I just threw them away, and I was like, should have kept the fucking shoe boxes to pack the shoes up. I got probably 40 pair of shoes in my closet, and they're all just jumbled and tumbled. I need to throw some away or give them away. But yeah, I'm stupid. You know, I could have been just stacking shoes. So kind of stupid, I see. But I just get them and just run out of room. Well, I am not going to hang too late today. I am freaking sleepy. And I am going to give the divination. And so the color for today is blue. And this is called Manic, Grass, Deer, Completion, Gateway, Opening, Beauty, Identification, Dance, Mantras, Divination, Acting, As Is, Spiritual Tools, or Priestess. The symbol is tsunami or hand, number 7. Colors magnetic blue. And that's a color that the Mayans invented. They call it Mayan blue. The Europeans had nothing like Mayan blue. Herbs are loose strife, dogwood, flowers, blue aster. Flower essences, Madia, expanding perspectives. Scent is sandalwood, stones, moonstone, water sapphire, blue quartz, blue calcite. It's a water element. The direction is from the west. Issue, the shadow wisdoms, issues of completing things. Taking too much, taking on too much, feeling inadequate, pressured, or scattered. Issues of acquiring tools, thinking the tool has the power instead of you having the power. But the transformation be aware of your resistance and distractions. Learn to finish what you start, taking satisfaction each step along the way. Use commitment, focused intention, and openness to help you complete. Experience yourself as a tool of the light. I don't know the light, but harmonic wisdom is the resolution. The mantra, hands out on both sides of the head at ear level, forearms perpendicular with thumbs, forefingers forming an O. Meditation, I am by thinly veiled design, threshold to other dimensions. Affirmation, I complete, I open, I am the one with the power. So manic in the color blue. To manifest, the energy is coming from the west. And so those of you that want to manifest tomorrow, you need a little push. The energy is in the west. Oh, PJ, I wanted to hip you, see if you heard this. It is called the Ultimate, what is it called? Is it the Ultimate League now? So what they've put together under the G League, it is the NBA has the G League, and I think it's the Ultimate League. But it's for people that don't want to go to college. They have they copy Ball's thing, but the NBA has sponsored a league. I thought it's called Ultimate Basketball, the Ultimate League. But what it is, if you don't want to play in college, they have a league for you now that is like a step under the G League. So this is interesting. I caught that the other day. They were saying people came from that league to get drafted. So I'm not sure if that's the name. I thought it was called the Ultimate League, but somebody can check to see if that's the name of it. But I came across that. Get some of those clear box cases. I'll buy some here shortly. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. You ever bought on Kevin Garnett's? Those was mostly Adidas. Yeah, I never really bought the Garnett's. He was Adidas, and this is what's funny. And this tells you, like I've said this before. When Grant Hill was at his peak, you didn't see Nikes really. I never, even when Grant Hill was at his peak, I never bought Fila shoes to hoop in. But I had everything else Fila. I had the Fila hats, the Fila jackets, the Fila jeans, the Fila shirts. And it seemed like they had a pair of Fila boots. I would never hoop in them. I tried them shoes in the store and I was like, there's no way. There's no way. But when Grant Hill was at his peak and you went to Detroit, everybody wore Filas. And I mean, literally all the hustlers wasn't like you would almost, it was like you went into a gang place if you wore Nikes or Jordans. Yeah, that shit was taboo in Detroit when Grant Hill was doing his thing. Now, you went to Chicago, you saw, when we used to wear the first plastically nylon-like Nike outfits, you seen all the players wearing, all the street players wearing that kind of shit. It was all sold up Nike, no doubt. Nikeville. Again, Nikeville. As in Chicago, those of you who've been to Nikeville, you know what I'm talking about. But what was funny, and I bring this up because when you went to Minnesota, it was, everything. Garnett did not have everybody wearing Adidas. He just did not have that pull. So it was kind of interesting to watch that kind of thing, because I was kind of operating in all three cities, and because my mother lived up here in Minneapolis at the time, so I was up here all the time, knew a bunch of fellas to play ball, always was working in Chicago, and then, always hustling, going back and forth from Detroit, going to games, but yeah, so it was interesting. That was interesting that Garnett he did not have the pull like Grant Hill. And people forget Grant Hill before the injuries. Now you want to say that Kobe was like Jordan. Grant Hill 6'8". Jordan about 6'5". Kobe about 6'6", 6'5". Grant Hill 6'8" and had all those same skills as Jordan. I mean, he really did at 6'8". I mean, he was a dog, and he got suckered into saying he was soft and playing on a broke ankle that cost him years. And he never was that player again. Never was that player. Became a good defender, mid-range. But his first 3-4 years, he was a storm. He was a 6'8" Jordan that could handle. I mean, he played mostly small forward at 6'8". But he was a whirlwind. He really was. He was closer to Jordan than Kobe. But again, had that size. They had that athleticism to get by people, but he at 6'8" had all that Jordan shit at 6'8". And barring his ankle problems, because he almost died. He got MRSA in one of his operations. He had to have several operations on his foot. And almost, you kind of chronicle him and Bill Walton very similar, destroyed feet. But Grant Hill was a storm. I don't know if people really remember that. Grant Hill was more Jordan than Kobe at the time. When Grant Hill came out, you wasn't hearing a lot about Kobe. And maybe he was a little older, but Grant Hill was the shit. And it was terrible that he had those injuries, because really we would have saw more of a Jordan-like player in a bigger dude compared to Kobe being the same height. But Grant Hill, I went to a lot of games in the Palace, and that was quite a drive from Battle Creek. But it was like you go through Pontiac, and then you come like where you see off of 75. It seems like we turned off 75 to go to Pontiac, and you go to where the Silverdome used to be, and then you make this right and just go straight. Like you see the Silverdome right there, and there's a street you can take to the right, and goes right to Auburn Hills. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna read everybody Mora, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Mora, it all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland, and they knew that they had an exact number of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build in a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is our very own. I can't think of the name of the shit. And to all my friends, to all my relations out there, to all that hear this message, remember, I am another yourself. So treat me as you would treat yourself, because I'm another yourself. As Marco says, a reflection. I'm another yourself. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I will be doing the last weekly episode of Responsible Daddy Hour tomorrow at Central Time, about 2:30 Central Time. So thank you, everybody, for coming in and seeing an old pimp. I appreciate it very much. I am silly. I am silly. Yeah, and I'll be live tomorrow midnight. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow midnight, same time, same bat channel, same bat station. So I'll be here tomorrow, but I will also be doing the Responsible Daddy Hour at 2:30 Central Time. Be the last one of the week because it's Friday, baby. Living it up, living it up. Oh yeah, it's gonna be Friday night. For those of you that the Eagles going to fly right on, gold finished again at $2,000, baby, 2 racks. So if you got an ounce of gold, it is worth $2,000. Just $2,000 right there. If you got 28 grams of gold, it's $2,000. Silver's worth $26 for an ounce of silver. Fucking think this ring is probably damn near an ounce of silver. It's sterling though, so it's worth a little less, but doesn't take much to get a coin. Yeah, 26. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your super funky hero, Big Pontiac. I had to rate it. I kind of forgot. I was like, what is the name again? And I'm taking back the name of Pontiac because Pontiac was somebody that walked the trails and the paths in the area that I walked in, just like Tecumseh walked them same trails and paths of Michigan that I've walked on and driven on. And so I'm taking back the name of Pontiac because he was a Catawba. And so this is one of my fifth grade grandmothers, or yeah, I guess my third or fourth grade grandmother. This is the tribe she came from. So I have every right to claim the name because they're not claiming it. So I'm going to claim it. I'm going to use it. And it is not a car. It was a real person that hated them peoples, hated British, hated them royalties, hated them redcoats, hated them 1776 in mugs. Well, he came before, but he hated them. And just like Tecumseh lost his life trying to save the Midwest where I grew up, to keep them out of this area. Because encroachment. You know, if there was ever a civilization of people, if you gave them an inch and they would want to take the country, that's them. That's why I said before, you can't cry about them building oil and pipelines around what's native lands. This is all they shit. They just say they let you get there, but this they shit. So they can build anything to fuck what they wanted. The war, they won the war. So you can't cry about them building across fucking native lands. It's still they shit. This is conquered lands. All of it's conquered lands. We are a conquered people. And we live under a conquered administration. So don't be crying for them. Well, you know, they're fucking up our water. This is they shit. Y'all motherfuckers gave up. They had to put us prisoners of war. Y'all just fucking gave up. And they was hard on the natives too, but they gave up. They assimilated. So I'm gonna get out of here talking shit. I ain't trying to offend anybody, but facts is facts. So baby, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show with your super funky hero host. I am Big Pontiac. Coming at ya. I didn't know I had to get ya. So I'm about to close it down, baby. I'm about to give it to you in 3D. So groovy is good to me. Hit me in my protons, baby. So till we meet again, say less.